500 passage breakdown versus a 520 passage breakdown. Scientists want to study how NAD+ levels affect glycolysis, which makes sense because NAD+ is used in glycolysis, so they're using various amounts of pyruvate to see how that affects NAD+ levels, which then affect glycolysis. Scientists want to see how NAD+ levels affect glycolysis, and this makes sense because we reduce NAD+ into NADH when we turn glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate into 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. Pyruvate can affect the NAD+ levels because under anaerobic conditions, pyruvate is reduced into lactate, which uses NADH and it oxidizes it back into NAD+. So if we have a lot of pyruvate, it might drive that reaction forward and increase the amount of NAD+ available to be used in glycolysis, which then might increase the rate of glycolysis. However, if we have enough oxygen, NADH can transfer its electrons to the ETC and turn back into NAD+. So we might not have any need to turn pyruvate into lactate to regenerate NAD+, because we have enough already. With all that being said, what I expect from the results is that either increasing pyruvate increases the amount of NAD+, which then increases the rate of glycolysis, or if we have plenty of oxygen, adding more pyruvate might not have any effect on the rate of glycolysis because we have enough NAD+ either way. The biggest takeaway from those two explanations is that the first one basically regurgitates with a slight rephrasing of what's already written in the passage. The only thing that was added was a small piece about glycolysis and knowing that NAD+ is used in glycolysis. On the other hand, the 520 explanation recalled more from their content and connected the NAD+ to different areas, and they made it very clear why NAD+ levels would affect the rate of glycolysis and why pyruvate could affect the levels of NAD+. The question that the 520 explanation really addresses, and the one that you always want to be focused on, is answering why. Why is this information relevant? Why are the scientists studying this? Why do things work the way they do? Why was this information said in the passage? If you focus on answering as many why questions as you can, you're inevitably going to give a great passage breakdown. And then someone listening to that breakdown has every question answered, and even without a solid background in science, they already know what's going on. If you think your passage breakdowns are an area that you can improve on, feel free to schedule a 15-minute consultation via the link in my bio, or you can join the MCAT community. It's a great resource for some one-on-one feedback, and it has all of those high-yield PDFs for CP and BB.